and it's my understanding you called regarding some firearm signs.
Yes, sir. Let me get somewhere where there's not an echo. I'm inside of a building with other people talking. Well, I'm not sure it'll be much better out here, but hopefully it will be. Yes, sir. Mr. Kopp, you're with the city attorney's office, correct?
Yes, sir, for the city of San Antonio.
Yes, sir. Okay. I just asked because I saw the 325 area code, and I was like, wait a minute. Make sure I...
Oh, I'm working remote today.
Oh, okay. Not a problem. To start with, you've got a sign up at the bike patrol lobby that's like 27 years out of date, and I mean it's illegal for it to even be there, but it's a 30-06 sign going back to the old revised Vernon code. So I don't know how long you've been in law, but you know those have been out since like 97. So that's my first point. I certainly don't want to... Go ahead.
Before you go on, the bike patrol lobby, where's it located? Is that the one on Houston Street?
Yeah, it's off of... Technically, it's on Commerce, but yeah, between Commerce and Houston.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure what the location is. So go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so the reason I noticed that is I've had a lot of problems with officers who read the signs that you guys have creatively worded around the 411-209 statutes, where, you know, so people, I mean, there's no legal problem with that, or there wasn't. There will be shortly. But you know, the sign that I'm talking about that says city ordinance prohibits carry of weapons into the facility or city of San Antonio unless specifically permitted under license or other Texas law.
Yes, sir.
80% of your officers with San Antonio police read that sign and still tell people it's the same as a 30-06 sign. And you know, I go about and I educate them. I'm like, no, look, there's a reason you have those lockers inside. You know, 80% of police officers don't know that those are public lobbies, that you can film in there and that you can carry in there, and so they threaten arrest for it all the time. So over the last 3 months, I've spent quite a bit of time educating officers about that. And I walked in the downtown area last night, and I happened to go by the bike patrol, and an officer told me outside, and I said, well, you might want to check with your supervisor, because he said I'm lying. And I'm like, look, I'm not going to get in an argument with an officer over, you know, trying to let him know, you know, he's mistaken. That there's nothing for me to gain from that. So I went to ask his supervisor to, you know, just let him know, hey, you got constitutional carry coming up, and he needs to be aware that that sign, it's not prohibiting people with a license, and it won't prevent people without a license from going in there. But so I walk in, and right there on the front counter, you got a sign that, you know, isn't supposed to be there. And then you've also got signs out at 515 South Frio all over the place. The magistrate office, going into the magistrate, the night magistrate, I want to make sure that I'm clear on that. That's you have to drive by the police substation to get to the night magistrate.
Yeah, I know where you're talking about.
Okay. On both sides of that entrance, you have signs that are posted that are 30-05 signs, and then you have 30-06 and 30-07 signs that are posted there. Now, those 30-05, the 30-05 sign, I have to question why they're there to start with. People have to go to the night magistrate. I mean, it's not an option. That's where they have to go. The police direct people past those signs all the time, but then they'll tell someone if they're filming that they'll arrest them because those signs are there. And I'm like, no, look, if it's open to the public, I can film in the public. But they point at the sign and say, well, there's a sign there that says no trespassing. And I say, well, check with your supervisor. I'm not going to argue with you. I don't want to go to jail, but if you direct someone to walk to the magistrate right past the sign, then that's an open area. cannot be a restricted area. You can't restrict the public from going to a government building. So you've got those 30-05 signs there. After talking with a lot of people in the police and the magistrate, apparently the intent was to stop people from going into the secure part of the police parking lot, which is at a 90-degree angle from there. And I talked with Captain Garcia, and then he assigned a sergeant to get with me on that, and I explained that to him, and he's like, yeah, I'll check on that, but it's really a city attorney issue. But the 30-06 and 30-07 signs that are also there, they're not the right sign. They're half an inch, and they need to be 1 inch if they're going to post them there. I don't believe they're allowed to be there under 411-209 either. And the city recently posted no trespassing signs down by the information services area as well, saying that the information services is now restricted to the public, but you have the GIS office in there, which is available to the public. The public needs to go there. I understand why Captain Garcia, he's like, well, we have this area back here we have to restrict, but if they can come here, then they can go there. And I'm like, well, what you need to do is restrict what needs to be restricted, not everything around it. And yeah, it's a difficult layout, but putting up signs that prevent citizens from going to public buildings is not the way to do that.
Well, I will tell you, the signs are currently under review, and the police department is taking additional efforts to educate their officers. It'll take a little bit of time probably, but what I will do is go by these locations and take a look at the signs that are there. Let me give you, if you have a pen handy, let me give you my name and number.
I don't have a pen, but I have a body cam, so give me a second. I'll turn it on so I can record it. Okay,
Sure.
Go ahead.
My name's Jim Kopp, K-O-P-P, and my work number is 210-207-8992. So give me a couple days. I will get back in touch with you, and you have any additional concerns regarding signs, feel free to call me.
Okay, before I let you go, one concern that I did have, and again, I told Captain Garcia, I'm like, if that area really truly is restricted, you do need to put up the 30-05 signs. And I told him, I said, I don't think you're going to be able to do that because, again, that's a public building there. The public has to have access to it. But they not only went and put the 30-05 signs there, but then they put 30-07 signs up. And that is completely against 411-209 because that would restrict even the employees from going into that location. And again, that building is not specifically the information services is not only police use. That's other than police use. So why they have up the 30-07 signs, I'm not sure. I don't know who advised them to put them up, but that's something that, again, I'm like, why put up these signs? If you're going to restrict the area, the 30-05 sign is enough. Putting up a 30-06 or 7 sign is not needed if you have a 30-05 sign. But in addition, it puts you guys in a legal problem because then a city employee can say, hey, you can't restrict my right to carry in my car or wherever else. So even if it is a restricted area, again, that employee, it may be against city policy for them to carry a firearm into work with them, but if they have a visitor that comes onto the property, it's not a crime for that person to open carry or to conceal carry if they go into that office, but you guys have posted a sign that implies that it is.
Yeah, no, I'll take a look at it and I'll get back in touch with you.
Okay, I do believe that's the only two signs or two areas right now. I know that you guys, the whole state's going to have issues after, you know, constitutional carry comes along. You know, and I know signs take time to come down. I mean, I brought up, they had the legal towing signs in that same information services. Those signs are at least 15 years outdated or unlawful. And I'm like, look, I know signs don't come down, but my issue is that officers read those old signs and they don't know they're no longer valid. They don't understand that. They just go, well, the sign's there, so I'm going to arrest you if you don't do this. And, you know, I'm like, hey, you know, you're violating someone's rights. And then they go, well, that's the city attorney's problem. And I'm like, yeah, but if I tell you about it, it's really your problem too. You should educate yourself so you don't do that.
Yeah, no, it's kind of complicated. We're having trouble educating the officers a little bit on some of the finer points. But again, give me a couple days and I'll get back in touch with you so that'll give me time to drive by the locations and actually look at the signs.
Okay, well, I do appreciate it. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and give you till the 1st. I know you said a couple of days. After the 1st, I'm going to go back by the bike patrol. At that point, if that sign, that particular sign is still up, I'm going to go ahead and send to your office the requirements to get the 411-209 going. I mean, I'm sure once you see it, you'll go, yeah, it needs to be down, and you'll let me know you're working on it.
I'm familiar with all of that, but let me ask a favor and give me till Friday, because even if I go by, there's city bureaucracy, and I understand that the sign probably needs to come down. I'm not saying what but please give me till Friday, and then, but I'll call you before then.
Okay, I do appreciate your time.
Take care, sir.
Okay, thank you.